Is that what I think it is?
It's mine. My precious.
That thing's dangerous, Rashid. Give it to me! Give it to me. Give it to me. That thing is dangerous. Understand? In 1997, Lance Armstrong overcame what was considered to be a fatal cancer diagnosis. 3 years later, he won his first Tour de France, followed by 6 more consecutive wins. In 2012, the US anti-doping agency concluded that Armstrong was the ringleader of the most sophisticated, professionalized, and successful doping program that sport had ever seen. He was stripped of his Tour de France wins and received a lifetime ban from all doping-free sports. Saint Mother Teresa was the founder of the Missionaries of Charity that originated in India and became a global organization as a wholehearted and free service for the poorest of the poor. The actual activities of the charity have faced multiple sources of criticism, with allegations of inadequate healthcare given to patients, forced Catholic baptisms, and an institutional hope that impoverished members of society would remain impoverished. That suffering was to be endured rather than remedied. Bill Gates, the billionaire philanthropist and founder of Microsoft, has long been held in high esteem as a lovable tech geek and a selfless husband. In 2021, his wife divorced him after revealing to the public his long-term infidelities, numerous advances made on women working at Microsoft, and an admitted relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Since the scandal, a number of members have moved to dissociate from the charitable organisation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. If it wasn't obvious already, your heroes are dead. The people that I just mentioned are, or were at some point, someone's idol. Immortalised in the collective memories of millions of people, they are what we aspire to be. But they are also broken, morally bankrupt, liars, cheaters, thieves. And you really could keep going. Bill Cosby, Mahatma Gandhi, Bill Clinton, Margaret Thatcher, you could name names for the rest of time. It seems as though none of our heroes remain unscathed from some form of cruelty, criticism, or temptation. So, what gives? Why do these people with such greatness in them, these spiritual and moral leaders, people who we idolise, suffer from such horrible afflictions? Why do they do evil? The unfortunate byproduct of placing people on pedestals, especially our heroes, is believing that they have some sort of innate moral superiority to us. It's easy to forget that a bastion of the civil rights movement, such as Martin Luther King, was just a guy, just like our humble cameraman Rashid here. We forget that these people are just like us, fallible and corruptible. This concept is explored in a lot of literature and art. Many artists believe that flawed heroes are not just the subject of creative attention, but its source. Consensus among many writers is that the only thing worth writing about is the human heart in conflict with itself. It is often the case that the human heart stumbles. For example, when reflecting on the brave heroism of the Hobbit Frodo as he carried the ring from the Shire to Mount Doom, I often forget that at the last and most pivotal point of the journey, he chose to keep the ring for himself. He broke and became no better than the men who tried before him. Despite being the most pure of heart, Frodo was defeated at the last. The ring is a representation of evil, and even Frodo, with his incredible strength of character, failed to overcome this evil. Not even this fictional virtuous hobbit is immune to it. We often forget that the potential for evil is universal. It exists in all of us. In Terrence Malick's 1998 war epic, The Thin Red Line, a character monologues on the nature of war in the Pacific Theatre.
This great evil, where's it come from? How did it steal into the world? What seed, what root did it grow from? Who's doing this? Who's killing us? Robbing us of life and light. Mocking us with the sight of what we might have known. Does our ruin benefit the earth? Does it help the grass to grow, the sun to shine? Is this darkness in you too?
The great evil explored in the film isn't being generated in a well of despair, in a pit in some far distant country. The evil is right here. The point is that it's with you and it's with me. It's not somebody else's problem. The scene highlights that terror and calamity are man-made. You cannot run from evil. It is woven into the everyday. Just as we can't separate the good and bad deeds from our heroes, we can't separate them from ourselves either. And this situation seems kind of hopeless. If our heroes can't keep it together, if they can't resist temptation, if Frodo can't destroy the ring, then why should we bother? Is it even possible to stop calamity? To halt internally generated fear, pride, greed, and lust? Is this evil in you too? It seems as though we are all driving wretched machines. Keeping the darkness at bay isn't easy, but it's not meant to be. And each day we have the opportunity to become heroes. C.S. Lewis says as much when he writes in his book, Mere Christianity. Every time you make a choice, you are turning the central part of you, the part of you that chooses, into something a little different from what it was before. And taking your life as a whole, with all your innumerable choices, all your life long you are slowly turning this central thing either into a heavenly creature or into a hellish creature. Each of us at each moment is progressing to the one state or the other. The state of humanity's brokenness does not mean we can't take on the role of hero in our own and others' lives. Our own selfishness does not mean we cannot be selfless. Our own fear does not mean we cannot be brave. Auschwitz survivor and psychotherapist Viktor Frankl highlights the variance in man's character, writing that man is that being who invented the gas chambers of Auschwitz. However, he is also the being who entered those chambers upright, with the Lord's Prayer or the Shema Yisrael on his lips.
The struggles that we deal with are not faced on spectacular battlegrounds or roaring stadiums like our heroes. Instead, they're fought within the ordinary human heart, where every morning we awake and feel the pressures of the day crowding in on us. This is where we decide the kind of heroes that we wish to be.
And there's solace to be found in that as well, that you, like your heroes, have the capacity for not only evil, but also greatness.